Good evening, everyone out there in TV land or in Magic.TV land. Tonight we've got something special just planned because it's a monumental event for each and every one of us that I am gladly going to share across our corresponding media just to get our friends involved. Also, going to put it on the fan page because, of course, we want our friends from Magic.TV here because this is a very significant moment for each and every one of us. You can actually, one second of this one. Go back here. I'm just gonna have to figure out how to share this. I'm gonna figure this out. Just saying hello to everyone. Say hello and good evening. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch to the other page. We're gonna go to YouTube. Leave. I'm gonna go to TV. We're gonna see what's going on. There we go. That's what we want. If you're tuning in, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna get this started in just a bit. Yeah. So I'm gonna get the show on the road. You're here. Thank you. Just sit tight and do a little bit more platforming. We should be good to go. All right. So is anyone with us? I don't think so. No one's with us. No one loves us. That sucks. I don't even think people know we're doing this. So we're just going to allow a little bit more people to join this so that we can at least have some more friends come and join us. I know this is impromptu, but this is actually a rather significant day for us, and I will share why in a bit. Maybe I can get him on. I don't know. I didn't even tell him I was going to do it. I didn't. For those wondering, where's Wade? Yeah, I got to wake him up. You can see the Sanctum Sanctorums in the background with my Anubis and my Hecate altar. A lot of other things. This is where I do a lot of my magical work. So let's. Hello. And if you're here, just say hello. If you're not, then no hard feelings to you. Watch. Hey, hello, whoever's watching, whoever you are, thank you. Why don't you say something in the chat? We'd love to hear from you. So yeah, I am going to be doing a little bit of sharing in a bit about why I'm doing this special episode here, and then they left because they didn't want to watch. That sucks. This is an impromptu live cast, and I'm not really expecting too many people to join this, to be honest. But I want to be a bit more celebratory about the good things that work in my life, and this is one of them. So yeah, we're just gonna allow a little bit more watch live. Ah, one last place to put this, then let's see what happens. If a lot of people tune in, then good. But if no one tunes in, I'll just make my announcements and call it a night. Got other things I can do. And I'm sure somebody's going to pick it up. Oops, I drew my card. Okay, good evening, everyone. And you're probably wondering why we're appearing on YouTube right now, because we have two monumental things that we want to celebrate today. Actually, today and right now represents the 1 year anniversary of Magic.tv. Yes, exactly 1 year ago, Wade Long and I decided to take the leap and say, F it, let's put up a show, let's do it together. And I will always give credit to the idea of Magic.tv coming from Wade, that the name of the show came from him. And I told him openly, so long as you do it with me, then I will gladly Captain America the F out of all of this. So 1 year ago today, Magic.tv started. And I have to be honest that I am amazingly honored and touched by the amount of support, growth, friendship, love, and relationships that Magic.tv has built in the past 365 days. Wade and I started this with no expectations. We thought that we were just going to do this just to see, share things about what we know about the occult and try to get occult names to be on the show, only for it within 1 year to blow up into probably one of the best occult shows on the market right now. And I've been really honored by some of the words of some of our guests saying that like what we're doing is something else. Uh, I thought that we were just going to talk about magic and spew shit and just be online talking about spell, ritual, demon, spell, ritual, demon. But you know what? I think this show was meant for something more. And throughout the past 365 days, I have lived a childhood dream or a teenager's dream of speaking to people, to men, especially if they're all men actually, who I have never imagined that I would be speaking to, people that I've only read about, people that I've only, pondered on, watched videos of. And I have had the honor of interviewing people that I've just looked up to for the majority of my life. More importantly, I've also met some new people. Shout out to Shea LaBey, Shea Bile. He's gonna kill me for that. Shea Bile and Dr. Jeremy Weiss, who didn't just become guests but became amazing friends, who I've learned to respect, who are advocates of their truth, of their purity, of their authenticity. And I've just got to say that we've only done 3 seasons so far, but yes, we are set to go for a season 4. But season 3, Into the Shadows, has just started, and we're already like, damn. I mean, like we've already had Jack, we've had Shea. Next, we are really honored to have Camelia Elias, advocate of Andromalios, joining us this July 15th in a special time at January 15th. It's a Saturday, so it's not going to be on Sunday. It's actually this coming Saturday. And hello, Ronks. Welcome to Magic.tv. And the thing is, we really are excited to hear from what she has to share, because she's going to be the first female on the show. And she's going to share with us her journey as a goetic, her journey as a sorceress or some magician, whatever she calls herself, but also her epic cartomancy skills. I mean, like I've had readings with her, and I got to say it's very amazing. And she kind of paved the way for other females to join the show, like Anima Noira, who will be joining us after her throughout the year. I mean, throughout the season. Literally speaking, I'm really excited because we have a really interesting list of people who are going to be joining season 3. Some people I never even thought I'd be able to get on the show. Like a bit of a spoiler, but after Camelia, we have Frater Udi on July 30th, who said that he's going to be joining. So I just wanted to share with you guys all, how do I say it like this? The last episode kind of struck some nerves, and I want to share with this openly on the air. I had some people ask me, say, "What were you thinking platforming Shea?" And I have actually been a little bit of a Satanist, they would say, and I've been very defensive of that, saying, "What was I thinking? I was in my right mind when I platformed him." He said, "But he's a Satanist," and I said, "And is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely not." In the time I've gotten to speak with Shea, I have in effect um, gained more respect for him than I have most people who fox a religion. I would give him the same level of platforming as I would give any Muslim in this world who practices the occult, or any homosexual who practices the occult, or any bisexual who practices the occult, or any transgender who practices the occult, which is, if a person has a message and it's pure and it's authentic, then by golly, you can expect I am going to attempt to platform that person. So for all the people who asked what was I thinking, actually I was thinking very authentically, and I have zero regrets platforming Shea, and I'm going to do it again because this is a man who really believes in his ideologies, but who is a positive contribution to society through it. His work, his written work, is filled with passion, and that's exactly the kind of people we're looking for Magic.tv. I am really also looking forward to showcasing some other people on the show, and I'm really like, if I get my wish granted, there's one person that I really want to have close season two. I'm not going to say who it is, but if you, I've kind of hinted it. Me and Wade have hinted it. So that being said, this show is not a show for bigots. Okay, that Shea's work is inspirational, for lack of a better word, and I think that one episode wasn't enough for me and him. And there are others out there who have epitomized such a positive way of doing these things. I would love to feature them as well. So that being said, I agree with you on that too, Ronks. Hell yeah. Here in the Philippines, we got quite a few priests who talk out of their ass. And to be totally honest, he speaks like more that he's actually connecting to what he's worshiping than most people who claim to be a part of a particular religion. And I will continue very strongly to support that kind of authenticity in people. So I just wanted to also go on record that Magic.tv would not be possible, especially season three, for not their amazing sponsors. Starting off with none other than Goetic Impressions. Yeah. Of course, the Belial pendant that is really meant to be used during Magic.tv episodes, consecrated, created by the amazing people at Goetic Impressions. Thank you very much for that. Me and Wade wear these during the shows. It's kind of like, yep. And if you guys didn't know already, Belial is the patron of Magic.tv. If you ask me, it was his decision that the show was made. So we're really much in alignment with that. So Goetic Impressions, check them out at goeticimpressions.com. Also, Anathema Publishing Limited. Okay, I was told specifically not to call them Anathema Press. Anathema Publishing Limited has sent us some OMFG amazing books. And I was just thinking about it earlier, and I think this is going to be part about tonight's segment, where how we're going to be talking about like the return of the Jedi of occult books. Because I think Anathema is one of the only publishers that's kind of paving the way to bring back the occult in occult lore or literature. That's what I love about their books. That like, I'm sure that they could make a shit ton of money publishing some bubblegum witchcraft stuff, but instead they choose to publish stuff that is curated in such a way that they're kind of making themselves kind of like the Lamborghini of occult stuff, where it's really cuisine for the occult hunger. It's not just some stuff you can find at your local national bookstore. This is stuff that you're really curated for the scholars and for the enthusiasts of the occult. Like I said, they're one of a few publishing houses that's doing it, but I really think that they're leading the way in that. I'm so impressed by everything that they've released. I pray from the bottom of my heart that Pillars comes back. And I will continue to be a real big fan of Anathema Publishing Limited. And of course, last but not least, hey, Scavenged Rituals, man. I mean, like, I don't want to compare them to it, but I like to call them kind of like the Reader's Digest of occult lore nowadays. A nice, tiny little pamphlet to carry around with you to read on your way to work with some very interesting things you could learn. They've come up with their first episode of their first issue, and now, if I'm not mistaken, they've released their second one, and I will be getting a hand on that soon. And if I'm not mistaken, if you order deluxe from their website, you can even get like a small vinyl disc, which is a cute novelty to it. They're an amazing group of people. I really appreciate the amount of trust and support that they've shown the show. And yeah, I mean, I'd like to say it's carbohydrate reading for occultism. I mean, like I could give this to my son and he could read it and be like, "Hey, Dad, tell me more about this." But it doesn't give you bubblegum. It doesn't give you fluff. It gives you stuff that you can actually learn from. The first issue for starters was already amazing, especially the stuff by Scott Stenwick where he talked about his operant field, which I've been a real fan of. So, today I'm going to be sharing with y'all what I think is the revenge of the comeback of occultism. You see, for the past 10 years or so, I noticed that the occult lore or books out there were kind of. There were people who, yeah, Dr. Edwards is on the list for season 3. We're already talking to him, just by the way. Dr. Ian C. Edwards has already agreed to guest on season 3. I'm just telling you that in advance. So, with that being said, there have been legends out there who have stayed consistent in the occult field in the past 10 years. Lon Duquette, Aaron Leitch, Scott Michael Stenwick, even Marcus Katz. These are all people who have, paved the way. They've been doing it for decades now. But I don't know if you guys noticed that the publishers got a little bit greedy. I'm not going to mention any companies, but I'm just going to let you guys use your imaginations. That the publishers stopped wanting to publish content that would make us grow and just started publishing content that would sell. BJ Swain, author BJ Swain, posted a very interesting post on his wall about a book that he saw. He's like, I gotta have this book. I'm not gonna mention the book. I don't want to piss off anybody. But I had that book, and it was a pile of garbage. It was a pile of garbage just because it's just meant to sell, but it's really not meant to grow, to let people grow or develop new understandings or open new doors. It's the same stuff over and over again, just rehashed, revamped. So this was going on for some time. I mean, you could only see so many books about the chakras. And quite frankly, you could only read so many books about the LBRP. All right. And sheesh, if you don't know what that is, wrong channel. But somewhere along the line, I guess the Magics just got pissed. I think what happened was the collective energy of Magic was just like, nah, this is not what we want. I mean, it was getting so watered down that the practices of manifestation and magic were being misconstrued for one another. And that's like saying an engineer and a mathematician are the same. Similar, yes. The same, no. Okay. So what happened would be a lot of books that were coming out were actually dumbing down the market. And if you ask me, Witch Talk was a direct result of that. Again, I am not shitting on the people who actually released quality content. Shout out to everyone that I've guested on the show beforehand. But somehow along the line, the energies got ticked and said, I'm done with this shit. Okay. And then amazing organizations such as Anathema Publishing, such as Hadean Press, such as Theon Publications started coming out and saying, no, we're not going to publish this bubblegum crap. We're going to publish stuff that's really meant for the occult enthusiast that you got to work for, that you got to study, that you got to look into, that you got to put time and effort into. You can't just read it on a green smoothie yoga tree retreat in Bali. No, you're going to be stuck in a Starbucks from opening to closing trying to figure out what the F did this book mean. So as a result of that, a new trend in occultism started building up. In other words, there were more, I don't want to call them novelties, but there were more specialist publishers that were really catering to the occult market, not to the love and light, feel good, live, laugh, love energy. We are all manifestors. No, they started publishing books meant for mages, books like the stuff written by the late Jake Stratton Kent, or books on Paulo Mayombe or Eshu and stuff like that, or The Faceless God. All these amazing books just started coming out because there were publishers that actually took the risk of platforming them. And I have to go on record on this episode and say, thank you. Thank you. Because it was getting boring. It was getting so boring. I swear to God that it's like, oh, yeah, I mean, Lon could only come out with so many books in a year, or Scott could come out with only so many books in a year, which he hasn't done in a while, or even Aaron. These are some of my more favorite authors, but some of the stuff that they were publishing was garbage. Was like, what the F? Like, there's this one brat that got published by a major publication firm, 23 years old, kid don't know jack shit about magic, but they got, like, I'm not going to mention who, they got Robert Greene, the author of the 48 Laws of Power, to review his stuff. I mean, what does this kid know about magic? You know what I mean? When instead you've got legends out there who've dedicated their time, their energy, their effort, their lives to the practice and the study of magic. And even they're not getting platform. Good example, it's like, if I'm not mistaken, BJ Swain only recently got published. Shea is only recently getting published. Wade hasn't even been published. And these are all guys who know their stuff. And if you ask me, the next trend of magic and occultism are these publication firms that are saying, look, we are not looking to prostitute the occult any further. We don't want to be the blank house of occultism. We want to curate quality, or the Starbucks of occultism. We want to be that third wave coffee shop that makes a kick-ass mochaccino. And those are the kind of publishers that I really respect. Yeah, of course, there's money in the big names like Llewellyn and Weiser. But you know, it's funny because, if I'm not mistaken, it was Alan Moore who said that if you are a writer, it's actually best for you to self-publish your work first, because if not, the main big publishers are going to butcher your image. And when it comes out, what's left is just like this prostituted version of what you originally hoped for. I mean, that's one reason I have a lot of respect for Golden Horde, the publishing firm of Stephen Skinner, because ain't nobody going to tell him what or what not to publish. It's going to get out. And if it's a Stephen Skinner book, you know, people are going to line up to buy it. So the point I'm trying to get at is, I'm really happy right now where we're all going in the terms of occult literature, because so long as these artisan publishers, I guess we can call them that, or third wave publishers, even better, are existing, then it's not mass producing and mass marketing things and watering them down. Like, I have not read anything from Anathema that has not impressed me. I haven't read all the stuff from Hadian or from Theon, but even Theon was amazing. I mean, the first book I ever got my hands on in Theon was called The Black Cube, and I'm like, wow. Okay. So, and if you are an occultist, if you're a mage, you kind of miss that feeling from time to time of the dusty book that you're reading over in candlelight. Shit, what is he trying to say here? And, you know, I think as a result of this, shows like Glitch Bottle or Esoterica, or even, hey, Denny, Foolish Fish, were kind of part of that current that's now, hey, guys, this is what we're looking for. And I appreciate what they're doing, because, like, nowadays, let's say for Glitch Bottle, if you hear about a particular author, it's like, you know, before I buy his book, I want to hear what he has to say. You can actually get a very academic interview. Or if a certain book came out and you really wanted to know if it's worth the purchase, because some of these books aren't cheap, you can actually potentially go to Foolish Fish, and if he has it, most times out over not, he will give you a very academic review about it. So shout out to Denis on that. So we're celebrating two things today. It's our 1-year episode today of Magic.tv. We've hit 1 year. And if you guys are on the YouTube channel, I'd love to get to know any of you guys have questions, guests that you want to have featured, any questions that you'd have for the guests that we've had. We could probably forward it to them. Part of being a part of this live is that. But also, we've also hit 400 followers organically. Like, we haven't done any marketing. I'm not really one for all this algorithm donkey crap of like you're gonna do this with the subtitles and I just post shit. You know what I mean? I upload the videos, I upload the interviews, and if I'm not lazy, I'll make reels. I don't. I have also an organization to run here, so sometimes it's a little bit tedious to just sit around all day making Facebook reels. But when I get around to it, I do it. Another thing too, for those of you not who don't know, I'm also the founder of Mysterium Philippines. So if that's something that you want to visit or you want to be part of, check us out on Facebook, Mysterium Philippines. You want to take a show with us, take a class with us. Our entry level programs are Intro to Tarot and Intuitive Awakenings. Those are two things that um, we're all looking forward to for everybody. Also, if you guys want to know more about me, visit robrubinreadings.com. But yeah, this is pretty much a celebratory 400th follower slash 1 year anniversary episode for us all. You guys have any? Don't be shy. There's a chat box here. You know, you can just say hello, everyone. And of course, if you're wondering who's next for the show, we have Camelia Elias this July 15th. First female guest ever on Magic.tv. Somebody once asked who are some of the dream guests you'd have for the show. Aside from that person that I really want to close season three, I would really love to get Meredith Graves. I love what she's doing with Kickstarter and Magic. It's a lot of fun there. I also would love to get David Rankin. I would love to get Joseph Peterson. There are some people that I will not guest on the show, but I will not say that publicly because I don't want to start fights. But if you're probably wondering, how come this person hasn't been on the show? Either they haven't opted to be on the show or I don't want to let them on the show. Wade and I usually talk these things out very carefully as to who we're going to platform because we also believe that to platform somebody is to give them a certain level of support and power. So Wade and I refuse to platform anyone that we can't at least give support to. So that being said, you guys can also check out Shea LeBay's work. Shea LeBay. Why do you keep fucking calling him that? Shea Biles' work. Shea LeBay. He's gonna kill me. Shea Biles' work. Frederick Nietzsche and the Left Hand Path. I honestly think that it will show you a side of the left hand path that none of you ever imagined. And I wish Wade was here with me right now so we could probably have a beer together. I don't even think he drinks anymore. And I don't really drink anymore. But one thing about it was it all started with me and him, our first episode. It's kind of funny because I'm seeing like a photo right now of Wolverine and Deadpool. And everybody knows Deadpool's first name is Wade. It's kind of like, well, that's just an inside joke between me and him. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to ask those of you who are watching, what are some segments of the show that you'd also like to be interested in? Because it's not like me and Wade are just tonight on nightly news. We actually do have some knowledge and skills and topics that we can actually talk about. I mean, like between me and Wade, we're pretty badass evokers. And if we don't know something, we can always ask it. I mean, a lot of people we can call upon. And one topic that's really getting popular is Thelema and Aleister Crowley. So if it's about Aleister Crowley, one of the first people I will run to will be Marco Visconti. Guys, it's on sale right now from 11/12 on Prime Day. Marco's got a 30% off his Aleister Crowley manual, guys. You got to check that out. It's worth more than a lot. Okay, I've got Magic. Okay, I've got the book Magic by Aleister Crowley, and it's a must-have for anybody who wants to get into the deeper aspects of magic. But for fuck's sake, the amount of mental stress you got to put yourself through just to digest that. It's kind of like eating a very tough steak. It's like it's a good steak, but it tastes great, but it just doesn't want to melt in your mouth. The case of Marco Visconti's Aleister Crowley manual, he takes those things and he tenderizes them. And I think that anybody who's interested in getting into, getting into Aleister Crowley's practices, I mean, he really said it clearly in his book that he didn't make this book with the intention of the Thelemite or the 44th degree OTO member. I wouldn't know. I'm not a member of the OTO. He meant this for people who just want to get into it. So it's really, really worth it. Worth checking out. Also, if I'm not mistaken, our ever so famous magical doctor Vice is right now in Jerusalem, in the Holy Land, saying prayers for us all. So I have a plan for season four to actually not reformat, but adjust the format where him and David Stolowitz are going to be more of mainstay guests. They may even co-host us in some events because they have that dynamic with us that we just enjoy talking to. And I think that like especially if there's an overlap in the practices, I'd love to have their input on things. For those of you who don't know, David Stolowitz is the magical comedian. He can we talk all the time. We're old friends, a funny guy, and of course, Dr. Jeremy Weiss is the founder of the Temple of Miriam. So you got to check that out as well, especially if you're into Jewish magic. I mean, his book, the art of or the practical art of Jewish magic for everyone. I hope I didn't butcher that name. Is also a book that you'd want to have on your show. Joseph Peterson will give that a try, but right now, people are asking me, Rob, what's on your to read list? And I got this interesting book by Three Hands Press, Anathema Maranatha. And it's basically a book of Christian attack magic. Pretty interesting things. I think this book would be very helpful for Filipinos because a lot of people in the Philippines have a very strong Catholic leaning to their things. So if you want to mix Catholicism or Christianity with magic, Anathema Maranatha. And of course, can't go wrong. I brought this just for the episode. I've been kind of re-digesting Lon Milo Duquette's The Tarot of Ceremonial Magic. Okay, gotta be honest with you guys. Really bad shot just calling it the Tarot of the Ceremonial Magic book because it does so much more. Lon was right. If this is like a 5 books to bring to a desert island, this is it because this has got pretty much 80% of the things you're going to need for tarot, for a goetic evocation, for an Enochian call. It's got more of a, we should call this like the tarot, the grimoire of the tarot. I don't know what you want to call it, but Lon outdid yourself with this one. And yes, for those of you who are curious, it's Lon Milo Duquette's birthday today. Happy birthday. Behold your mighty hand from your friends at magic.tv. It was such an honor having you close season one. I mean, like, imagine how Wade and I felt when we found out that we were getting Lon Duquette to close season one. And really, really amazing time. Aside from Ronks, does anybody else want to talk? I said, I'd love to get to know you all. It's like 5 people are watching, but nobody's saying anything. Then after Frater Udi, I think if I'm not mistaken, that will either be, and I think Ana Manuela is coming in August, but she's already committed that she's going to join, and that's a wonderful lady who I've had readings with. Hi, Wai. And what I like about Ana Manuela is you can have a very epic reading with her, and she doesn't really put a price tag to it. She'll tell you you pay what you think it's worth, and I have paid her what I feel it's worth, and I think that she deserves more. She's really talented at her gifts. Who else am I forgetting? Of course, if you guys want the Salisbury Stakes of occult research, you can't go wrong with Stephen Skinner. I mean, the ultimate mix-up of practices that I've had in all of the guests of Magic.tv will surely be Jack Grail's PGM course, which I'm taking with the Blackthorn School, and Stephen Skinner's techniques in Greco-Egyptian magic. Wow. If you're taking the PGM course and you have that book, the PGM is going to become a staple to who you are. So some good stuff. What else? Of course, Marcus Katz's Tarot of the Everlasting Day. Congratulations on that. He's coming out with a Lenormand version of that. Just a bit of a support to him as well. And if I'm not mistaken, Scott Michael Stenwick is coming out with a new book again about the Aethers of Enochian. I mean, he's one guy I like who really takes the time to condense the understanding of Enochian to people. So that's a lot of good. And of course, cannot forget, if you want a very interesting attempt on mysticism and a spiritual experience, for lack of a better word, Craig Williams. Why am I mixing up all the damn names? People are going to kill me. Craig Williams, Entering the Desert. Craig David's a freaking singer. Craig Williams, Entering the Desert. Holy crap. I am slowly reading into Tantric Physics 1 and 2. Cult of Golgotha was a lot of fun, but made me a real fan with Entering the Desert. Greetings from Guatemala. It's great to start a new day with a live session of Magic.tv. Muchos gracias, Arturo. Yes, and if you don't know, it's our 1 year anniversary today. But unfortunately, Wade is not with us today. I just want to make sure that I'm giving credit to everybody who made seasons 1 and 2 a success. And guys, also, one thing you want to check out is the PGM Tarot by Jason Augustus Newcomb. But if that's too much of a chew for you, get your hands on his new Hermetics book. I mean, that's or the 21st Century Mage. If you want to do it the whole, a holy diamond approach of doing things, I mean, that's really gonna do wonders for you in the long run. Especially if you're planning things like the Abermelon procedure. Those are all things that I feel could prepare you for it, for lack of a better word. Let's see. Our channel. Right. Anybody else? Yeah, and of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to Foolish Fish. I mean, trust me. Do it for your pocket. Do it for your pocket, because by subscribing to Foolish Fish, you're going to get a good idea what books are worth buying and what books are worth buying. What's nice about Denny is that he will never knock a book on his shows. Like, this book is garbage, do not buy it. No, he won't do that. But if it's being featured on Foolish Fish, chances are it's worth it. And of course, hey, can't forget the Hecaton by Jack Grail, a true gem, a true must-have for devotees of Hecate, or for those who Hecate is called. That's another thing. I don't think it's all just about choosing to follow Hecate. Hecate will call you. And, in order to complement also Goetic Impressions, Frater Ashen Chasan has a very good crafts business that he creates magical talismans. And he taught us about how to consecrate. We're going to be doing a reel on that soon. So if you guys want to have like magical seals created, they look really, really good. Check out Frater Ashen Chasan's. And also congratulations to Phil Hines' latest book, OMG, The Art of Magical Resistance. Damn. He's inspiring us again. As in, like, who better to talk about this than Phil Hine? That's just somebody who, for lack of a better word, epitomizes that topic from top to bottom. So yeah, I mean, it's really, really, really fun to see all the people we've met, and there will be a lot of people in the next couple of weeks who will either be first timers or will be returning to the show. Now, one thing that I have noticed is that once you're done on the show, it gives us more time to talk about specialist topics. So, like, example, if I were to host Shea Bile again, I would probably ask him openly about, like, how do we form a pact with a demon? Because he knows how to talk about it, and he's good at that. Or if I were to talk about if I were to ask Jack Grail if he might have the time to guest on the show again, I would openly ask him that, like, hey, Jack, what do we need to do to offer reverence to our chosen God? So once these names return, if they return, it gives us a better opportunity for us all to pick their brains even more. And I've not had a single client who I've said, oh my God, I do not want that person to come back. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I have really been impressed by most of the people. No, fuck that. Not most. All of the people that's joined the show. As in, sheesh. Where do these guys come up with this stuff? Just so amazing. So with that being said, I'm not going to spoil everything's coming. Like I said, the next episode we are going to be joined none other than by Camelia Elias this July 15th. Looking forward to experiencing things with her. And Frater Udi this July 30th. That's a real big thing because I'm sure Ronks knows what I'm going to ask him. So with that being said, I think I'm going to call it a night. This was our 1 year anniversary. Thank you to our patron, Belial, who has, yeah, exactly. Belial, who has made this show the success that it is. I just hope he doesn't cock block it. It's like, don't ask about the Ice Magic Wars. Shit. That's what we wanted to ask him. He's got a lot of good work, though. I mean, Frater Udi is a real trendsetter when it comes to magical books. His High Magic 1 and 2 is really amazing. But I'm just thankful for each and every person who made the show a reality. You see, the one thing I'm happy is dying. This is dying already. Is the occult snob trend. All right. What do I mean by that? A lot of occultists in the past, like, I won't talk to you. You're beneath me. No, no, fuck those kind of people. The people who said, "Hey, sure, I'd love to help your show. Sure, I'd love to support," and they see that the only way we're going to get through this is together. These are the kind of people that should be leading the next generation of occultists. Remember, just because you wrote a book, just because it was published, doesn't make you better than anyone else. Okay, and I say this to people time and time again: never shit on the little guy. All right, because you never know that the little guy that you're making fun of might be the guy who platforms you in the future. And shout out to each and every guest that this show has ever had. The fact that you guys you gave me your precious, valuable time, makes you, in my book, legends. That shows that you guys know the value of camaraderie. That shows that you guys know the value of community and that your heads are in the right places. And I will always, always be there for each and every one of you. So, that being said, good night, everyone. Happy anniversary to us.